Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, this is Alastair and the Alastair876 podcast, where I'm gonna discuss making the music, my musical journey, my thoughts on the state of reggae and dancehall, you know what I'm saying? And what inspired me, why I decided to do the music, how long we doing the music, how long we making music, because sometimes you say how long you doing music kind of sound vague. So basically, yeah, how long we making music, our experience is while making the music. You know what I'm saying? When you ask artists about how long they're doing music, they always say, "Oh, yo, say I'm doing music from my born, and things like music choose me." And boy, listen, a lot of us doing music from we born. But professionally, that's what when people ask you how long you doing music, mostly they want to talk about professionally. You know what I'm saying? So professionally, I would say, um, and take it serious, you know, 2013. You know, um, I was always beside the scenes. I would tell you that. I was always gone in the experiences. Well, I should clarify. 2013 as Alastair, what I mean, me as an artist. That was when, we really start put things into place, right? But before that, I used to be a ad hoc, manager, slash writer, for artists, dancehall artists, so and one of the records that we're gonna talk about today is featuring him, aka Spotlight Kunta. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about how that record Spotlight
Spotlight, I wanna be where the spotlight.
and some of the flack I get for that record, till this day. You know what I mean? I tell you. So, sometimes I wonder if that record slowed down my thing. Sometimes, but you know, outside of Jamaica, no problem. But Jamaica, problem. Yeah, tell you, and I never recognized that till late. You know what I mean? Because when I get certain knowledge of the music, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just a quick update on what I'm working on. Really managing family life. Managing family life, and in the midst of managing family life, I'm working on a social commentary EP. Yeah, the EP is social commentary. The tracks them already done. Um, I just need to, well, I say I laid the demos already. You know what I mean? We're just gonna go in the studio, knock them out, get them mixed, mastered, and then when we have a release date, we I would tell you about. I would love for it to be right before summer start. hmm Whether we're going to get videos, that I don't know yet. It depends on the budget. We'll see how the budget go. Because as we say, I am independent. You know, and if any artist out there, anybody who is an artist out there, uh, you know that you have a certain budget to work with. If you don't have no bag of money spending, you know, things got things kind of tight. You know what I mean? So you have to juggle reality. You know what I mean? And where the vision where you want the music and things to go. You know what I mean? So it's all about resources and how you utilize the resources properly. Uh huh. So, why reggae matters to me personally? Um, that is a tricky thing. I like reggae for the music and the message, how it make me feel, and the message. You know what I mean? And I'm not serious all the time, so I have some fun, and thought provoking topics and thing. and then you have some serious now, which I tell you about social commentary, because reggae is rebel music, reggae dancehall, reggae and dancehall is rebel music. You know what I mean? So, you know, I do more dancehall than reggae. That's true. I do more dancehall than reggae. I use reggae dancehall kind of loosely. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I do not take offense when we say that. You know what I mean? It is there out in the world. You can see for yourself. Yo, how I got started making music. Um, well, I used to do piano. Yeah, my father used to send me to piano lessons. I did piano for, and basically, is my father introduced me to music because my father played the guitar. You know what I mean? My father used to play the guitar, and this is a man what you see. Once him take up something, him passionately believe in it, and him believe that him can be the best at anything him take up. Yeah, that is the attitude my father have. So he was, eh, you know, he played the guitar, you know, better than me. I would say he can teach play. He could teach playing the guitar. And I remember as a kid growing up, he used to purchase a lot of the guitar books and give me to read and stuff like that. About chords and all of that. Um, I always used to see him when he travel. He travel with his guitar. Also, one instrument that I don't see around a lot, maybe for country and western singers, I don't know. I don't, but I'm not paying attention to them. But I know that the harmonica, my father used to play the harmonica too. He loved playing the harmonica. And I remember he bought me about two or three harmonica. I'm just fool around with them and then them lost. I don't even know where they're at. I didn't take it serious. You know what I mean? No, no. Maybe I wish I took it serious because it would have stand out, especially when you're in the studio. That would have been unique if I continued playing that thing. So yeah, that was another thing. So my musical influence from an early stage was from my father, and then later on I get older. Around 13 or so, him send me to piano classes, and I did piano for about a year and a half. You know, so that was that. Um, yeah. So in terms of the artists and you know sound culture, who I used to listen to, you know, I always said my first set of music was hip hop. My first set of music was hip hop. We grew up uptown Jamaica, so the from the satellite dish in your backyard days. Yeah, I don't know who remember them stuff, you know what I mean? From the satellite dish in your backyard days, yeah, that's the school I'm from. And the other thing also is I kind of segue. The other thing also is, yeah, go back to the fact that in those times, in the early 90s, right, dancehall was underground. You know what I mean? I remember on the Jamaican radio, you couldn't hear any dancehall music until late night, 11, 12 o'clock. That's when you get to hear dancehall. So the dancehall, these kids nowadays, I hear dancehall 24/7. You know what I mean? I might hear dancehall in the morning, go straight back. It was not like that. It's pure, we call foreign music, and a lot of covers. You know what I mean? The Sanchez them play, and you'd have people don't date me. You know what I mean? I have some old school parents too. You know the old time what them call Skeeter Davis that used to play on a Sunday. You know what I mean? The old gospel, Grace Thrillers. You know, those are the stuff that used to play on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So the musical influence kind of wide. Musical influence wide, and then the R&B and the hip hop them were in the days. You know what I'm saying? In the day, all them stuff they play. Go in the city, you move around in the city, you hear that playing. You know what I mean? So that's my musical influence. In terms of the artists, um, wow, 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 wow. Which artist stand out to me back then? Um, as long as I can remember, I'm trying to go far back before. I'm trying to go far back before Black Rob and them. Biggie, of course. Notorious B.I.G. Of course, Ice Cube. Man, I love Ice Cube songs, man. Nate Dogg, Warren G, them, like them kind of music. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Earlier, we will come up earlier, after Black Rob, then, you'd have the little pop phase, Cisco, Drew Hill, them. Yeah, but mostly the 90s thing was was mostly the R&B people them running it. So the baby face, for earlier for my favorite artist to this day was Alia. Is Alia. I love Alia. I must because she in our age group. Maybe. But and them times things the girls them and you them more conservative. So Alia is a good representation of that artist of that era because she was shy. So she used to wear the dark glasses them. She have the big talent, but she did shy. I remember I watch behind the music or something like that with Missy them and I'm telling you, Missy and Timbaland used to like baby her and tell you about her life and all of them stuff there. So, those are my musical influence. Me like a rock. Me like the White Stripes. Me love Godsmack. Me like it's holy for them. The Uber Stank and them come later on and yeah. Yeah, me like one or two Ozzy Osbourne. Me not gonna lie. Yeah, what I mean? Me like music. What I mean? Some always I listen wide, what I'm saying? Um yes we did love, when Avril Lavigne come out. Yeah man, we like Avril Lavigne and she did different, what I mean? She did different and she represent a certain, demographic at the time. So yeah, me, I tell you the truth. I wasn't the boy band type of guy. Nor the girl group them. Despite no. That used to annoy me. Now we grow for like some of the music. You know what I mean? When we listen more deeper and the element how them put together, it's classics. But at that time when them come out, I was most annoyed. you know what I mean? So, why me choose reggae? Cause reggae fit more with my roots and culture. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's more authentic to me. I'm a dance on my reggae. Yeah, I'm gonna give it my flair. So I'm gonna do it my way. You see me? hmm Yeah. Biggest lesson learned as an independent artist: spend your own money and don't wait on anybody. Yeah, this is my biggest thing. Spend your own money. Don't wait on anybody. You know what I mean? Uh, I learned that late, cause had I learned it earlier, like alkaline, you know what I mean, and to be more aggressive, cause when you're in Jamaica and you try for break, you have to be aggressive. That's why you see teacher and alkaline them, break out and hold the game because the man them learn from earlier say, no pen and play with people. You know what I mean? When you want to break through, especially dancehall, reggae, you gotta be rough, man. You gotta be rough. So and we kind of have some experience. And we talk about that. We talk about when we do the street tour with, when I did the street tour with Spotlight them, Scatter them, Gangbang, Vibes Cartel, was the earlier Vibes Cartel when he have the area, and what's the name again, and Idonia, when Idonia just have the song them, I think Jolly. Why you look so jolly? Yeah, remember them time there. Yeah, and Bot D was the manager. Yeah, them time road manager them time there. So yeah, kind of get a couple of experience as a youth. You know what I mean? Uptown youth. I did dabble in the music. You see me? And yeah, so biggest lesson we learn as an independent artist is to focus on yourself and use your resources as best as you can, to pay for your masters and pay for your voicing, and do your and have control over your music. That is the biggest thing. Don't wait on people for help you get things done. You know what I mean? If that gonna happen, nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean? If you wait on people, you're not gonna get it. It's your dream, so you must go for it. You know what I mean? hmm So that is my thing. Um, yeah. So we're gonna talk more. We soon get into, the making of Spotlight, our first record there, where we put out and we actually do some road work in Kingston. You know what I mean? All right. So fast forward. I was living in Otrius. You know what I mean? Enjoying the North Coast, and used to back and forth Kingston and Otrius, and then one of my friends, you know, I learned had a home studio. And so when I link up with him, he had a label, and I already established a label for myself and to produce my music. So I decided, say, let's have a partnership. I talk with him and say, let's have a partnership, label to label, because my thinking was, you know, you produce some music. If you produce this music and you get a hit outside, both of you can benefit because it's two labels, and therefore, if we have if we have a hit out of it and we own this, I know me, I gonna want to push it as far as I can, and and I know that probably we can probably get a nice distribution deal. 'Cause I'm thinking, yeah, international, nice body of workers from you get a break, they gonna want to hear your other materials. And I was making a lot of materials at that time because, at that time, we plan to flood the market. We put like finances down, what I mean, about a 20,000 US. We said, yeah, we're going to put this behind the music, what I mean, at that time. So, was getting ready, what I mean, to do some nice work. And same artist spotlight, back and forth, New York to Jamaica. And, him link me up and come around the studio. And while hanging out around the studio, I meet my producer friend and hear a rhythm I'm like. So when him hear the rhythm, him say, hold on. Yeah, so Spotlight hear one rhythm, nice and cool, and say, yo, me like that rhythm there. Alastair, write something, write something so, cause as him come around the studio, him get a vibe. I realize, say, and him hear some of the material I've been working on. Cause him didn't know that I was doing the music. It's now serious. So when him hear some of my material, him say, yo, no man, I have to start voice and start get a hit and thing. But, you know, when him see this, you may know. Personally, looking at me, think say him did a rush the music. Yeah. You know what I mean? Him did a fast food the music. Yeah, a little patience and put the resources together and do a proper project like an album or so. I think say that would have been the best route rather than voice something and then, you know, I try rush to it carry it on the streets and I try to get a viral, but then I try to get a buzz with it and rush to shoot video and all of them stuff. Yeah, we kind of did things kind of fast, So yeah, we did. You know, I was at work. I mean, I had a desk job in insurance, and while at work, I meds, you know, meditate on the song, and we get the melody in my head and thing and spotlight, wanna be where the. I say, all right, cool. What I mean, this is the song. So make him hear it. Him say him love it. At that time, at that time, you know, we me say we gonna reach out cause Denique was a unique artist that time. I'm say I gonna reach out to Denique manager. And for sure say and a lie me I tell. Our manager, I remember was our manager name was Jade. And we reach out to the manager and I think the manager get back to you and um favorably, you know. And then afterwards we not hear nothing. And think I would want to find out how we get our on the feature for the song we will write. And because we they get some grown, I mean, I just say, yo, Virgin one, get it out, get the music out, analyze the concept at the time. And I just say, all right, me just sing it on, sing the hook and, you just drop the song because, we're not getting nobody. You know what I mean? So that's how that song Spotlight come. And we shot the video. You know what I mean? We shoot the video. I think uh one or two celeb did forward at the studio. Um, me here, I never see. You know what I mean? I think I think at that time I wanna acting link them here. Forward at the studio. But I never see spotlight them tell me. And yeah, I mean we do the video them and put out. Yeah, I put out the video and the video go number one on the Suzy Cube show we should have. Top 20 countdown. We got number one for 2 weeks. And then conscience broke off your back. Knock it off. And then we never see the song again. Yeah. Well, in a year countdown, it did make the in a year countdown. You know what I mean? But in terms of radio play, only liquid from Zip they give away a strength and play it one time. You know what I mean? Nobody else. Me never hear it play because every man want money. That's facts. You know what I mean? And we not eat on the game. The game is a game. You know what I mean? If you're not no money, shut your mouth. Yeah, big up quick cook. But yeah, love that song there. But yeah, um, yeah, the game is the game, man. So because of that now, the song they have a catchy hook because me hear kids are sing it. Everywhere we play it, the kids them are sing it. It infectious. But the industry never push it. Man, them did a block it. I'm gonna tell you now why it a block it when me hear later on. You know what I mean? We do big up Andrew Val, cause Andrew Val from Ep2, they take the video and play it, and it was playing in the Caribbean. Um, Circumstances, and make me and spotlight them. Never just take it throughout the region and promote it. I don't know why I never think about that. Looking back now, that should have been the order. If Jamaica now run with it, take it outside and boom bam. You know what I'm saying? That's how we should have deal with it. But hey, you know what I mean? Remember, after Andrew them put it on Ep2, we go we go what a place there. We go we go Ep2 and we do one performance on TV, you know what I mean? And ZJ Rush was the DJ, you know what I mean? And that's why That's why I'm in a rate rush. You know what I mean? That's why I'm in a well, this kinda tricky. Cause some will agree, some will not agree. You know what I mean? The ghetto youth them and youth them in the street, when no say music alone them have to put on them pattern rate, them youth they will agree. And and then some of the hip hop man them too, because some of them go through a similar thing with DJs. Yeah, we carry the song go Hype TV and we have a Hype TV live performance. And we do the song and thing. I'm a see Rush. And me have a brother where them know each other. I mean I say Rush, me a so and so, brother. You know what I mean? You know give the song a strength. Rush say him not like the song. Rush not tell me why him not like the song, Him just don't like the song. So him not get no strength. Me would love to understand why you not like the song. Me would love to know, you know what I mean? From details why you not like the song, because that feedback that would have helped me. You know what I mean? Later on, me probably have an understanding based on the industry how me I hear and thing, you know. And no, when we get into it. So later on now, when we play it, one or two people, people love the song, Come we go, me in New York, we play the song, girls then love the song. We get to play in the club, then love the song. Kids them are sing the song, right? The only thing homophobic Jamaica have is say one man I say he wanna be where the spotlight is, and the artist name Spotlight Kunta. I mean I say, yo, when we write the song, we are use metaphors. You know what I mean? If you say you want to be in a spotlight, you're not talking about Spotlight Kunta. So common sense, but Jamaica, as me say, them homophobic thing in the music. So the man them take it and twist it a different way. And that's why them say they now get the song a push. And me say some waste people. Basically that my thought was some waste people, because una fish up the thing when no fish we not dead there. Because we shot all the video, me with a bunch of girl and Spotlight with a bunch of girl and liquor and all bag of things. Well, you know what I mean? The video, nice video. It's still up today. You just type in Alastair Spotlight Kunta and you're gonna see the video. You know what I mean? That is the reason why the man them not play the song. You know. I did hear radio. I did hear later on with radio. Biggie say it not mix properly, or it mix too low. So when the man them drop it in a dance, with the high energy song them, and then that drop afterwards, everything go low. Me no know how me hear. If you see this and you can give me the feedback, that me did hear. But apart from that, yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I don't write music. You know what I mean? We in terms of lyrics or melody first. It depends. You may have the rhythm first, the melody first, and then more meds. Some things. It depends on the mood. It depends on my mood. What happened through it, have a message from my heart when I want to, you know, put forward. You know. So when I really write music, I always meds. I stop write from me watch the documentary and Biggie and Jay-Z say Biggie no right. And that's how him learn. You know what I mean? I think me and somebody was talking and I must say Jay-Z teach Biggie how to do it and then Biggie teach Jay-Z. Whichever way. I mean, remember that message in the documentary say them not right, and me decide I'm gonna practice that going forward. Because when you don't write, writing have its advantages. You know what I mean? But when you don't write, for me get a better feel of the music. I remember it for years. When I write, I remember it for years. If the rhythm start playing, what I remember every single word, just like this. You know what I mean? That's why when I'm on the underground jam session scenes, in a New York. I want me hear somebody call me the human jukebox. I'm a laugh. But it's the love for the music and that ability what make me can do that. You know what I'm saying? So the beat selection or production process, it depends. My thing kind of random. You know what I mean? It depends on the producer. I may always buck up some producer, run into some producer, and them have some rhythms where they make and thing. And yeah, I will have one or two ideas. I must say put two instruments no, and thing. But with my recent work, I pay the producers them to make the music. Yeah, and then and then afterwards I have a voice, and then ask me my people them to mix it. You know what I mean? Mm. So that is how it go for me. Um, my meds in terms of home studio versus professional studio. Now I have a like a home studio. You know what I mean? But I rather voice a professional studio and have them mix it there. So therefore, we don't have no hiccups in terms of quality, and we have to do less cleanup work. You know what I mean? So from idea to release song, it depends on the money. Straight up. From idea to release, it always is depend on the money. If we have the money for release the thing them, we do it because I release music properly. Any music you have here out there for me, I make sure I make sure I'm registered. You know what I mean? ASCAP straight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. More royalties. My publishing too. You know what I mean? So yeah, me rather do those things first. You know what I mean? We take care of the business side. Um, so yeah, some challenges while creating. Sometimes you're not in the mood. Sometimes you're going through some things in life, and you don't feel like creating. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not in the mood. That's why you must always in a space where cultivate that creativity because you see when if you're under if a creative under due stress, them they cannot create. Well, some creatives cannot create. You know what I mean? Too much stress, you can't create. And that kind of block everything for you. So it's always good to find your sweet spot. You know what I mean? Always good for make sure you have a space where you can always, you know, you know, what do you call that? Introspect, be introspective, yeah, and meditate, and so you can get the creative juices flowing. Sometimes we just don't create. Sometimes I just go about my business and me get inspired, and then that just trigger out a chain reaction of just music, music, music for months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I said this a lot of times, years ago, a lot of times I quit music. A lot of times I say, oh, I'm done with it, and next week I'm back again. Very addictive. Something I can't help but do. You know what I mean? So that is one of the reasons why I still at the music. Then I say, oh, some people say, hey, oh, leave that alone, man. I rate it. I love it. All when it's not 100%, it could be 5% perfect and 95% rubbish. You know what I mean? From once I love what I doing, I don't care what nobody think. Yeah. Yeah. The old production of Spotlight featuring Alastair, it was done the video was shot by Robin Chin. Yeah, man. Robin is a brethren of mine, from high school. You know what I'm saying? We always try to keep everything in house. Most of the work we do, well, I don't like surprises. You know what I mean? I like to know the people who I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we kind of know how each person personality work. You know what I mean? So there's no violation. Because we have an understanding from long time. You know what I mean? So we like to keep our thing, in house. And yeah, so Robin long time, you know, and so him shot the video with the man skills wicked, wicked. Yo, if you see the space or the man turn with a green screen, see the man create a green screen on my virgin house and turn the whole thing into a nice studio, video production. Yo, him bad, him bad. But we know because Robin work with international producers too. I mean, work with the likes of Tiger at that time. So Tiger did one of the big rapper them, in America at that time. With Young Money. So, Robin have the skills and him do a lot of work, commercial, a lot of commercial works, and you know, and work with the artists them, big artists, international artists, local artists. So him have the experience and the skills. What I mean, the short films. So yeah, we did trust him, and the project turned out nice. What I mean, and it never break the bank. Project turned out nice. It never break the bank. And the only thing is, we wish we did take it outside of Jamaica and give it a Caribbean run because Hype TV played in the Caribbean and I heard it was doing well outside. Mm. So, but people them never get for see it, so we never get to give it the push. You know what I mean? That is the only thing. So that is the only thing more that I would have changed if I was supposed to do it over again. Yeah, yeah, man. So my sound, I always say, is a international, um, you know, pop reggae kind of vibes. What I mean? With the pop side, you consider, the dancehall too and thing. What I mean? But do a reggae bordering dancehall, hardcore. You know what I mean? Or we should that say dancehall fusion. How you stay authentic while evolving? Um, hmm. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? I just be myself. You know what I mean? If I like something, I work with it. I don't want the music what I don't like. So so I might put out music where majority of people say, yo, I don't like that and rate it, but I like it. So I put it out. Because if I like it, billions of people around the world, I know say at least 10,000 people like it. I have that weird style. You know what I mean? A weird taste. It just need to find them. And it's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? So I believe doing my music and putting out so that there is track record. So even if only one or two people listening to it, it's fine by me. You know what I mean? Eventually people will get to it and it will find its clan. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about the music. Mhm. So yeah. Balancing commercial appeal and the real message. You know what I mean? I don't think about that. Definitely don't think about that. If the opportunity come up and we can do some commercial, great. If not, I mean, once me I do what I love and we I pay the bills them, that's all my business about. You know what I mean? We do what we love, we pay the bills them, we stay true to ourselves and our people them like it. Our core fan base them like it. Yeah, that is it. hmm That is how I feel. You know what I mean? How my personal life influence my music influence it a lot. You know what I mean? Most of the music I meds or meditate is from my experiences, and for sometimes one or two of my, the people who around experience I draw from. But I try to be as authentic as possible. I'm like to use a lot of metaphors too. So, you know what I mean? That's how it is. But yeah, this is Alastair876 on the Alastair podcast. You know, that was, we discussing the making of, Spotlight by Spotlight Kunta, Alastair. You know what I mean? Go and check out the video. It released from 2013. You know what I mean? Just go on YouTube and you can still stream it and play it. And then let me leave some comments and let me know. And make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you want to find me on Instagram, Alastair876. You know what I mean? That is it. Same thing for TikTok. You know what I mean? Yo, let's go. Catch you now another time. I'm out.
Spotlight, wanna be where the spotlight. I wanna be where the spotlight is. Where the spotlight is. Oh, spotlight, I wanna be where the spotlight. I wanna be where the spotlight is. Where the spotlight is.
When we step in the park, the girl let me talk. One bit in my light, now left in the dark. Selector a play, girl a bubble like spark. Jump and sound dead, bring out the white chalk. Cause first sound a play on the hill, me a bill. Me just make a me laugh a tour, me a chill. Silly rabbits them a play when chicks are for kids. Me no come mess up a ramp when lyrics forgive.
Oh, spotlight, I wanna be where the spotlight.